Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another pen for review. Now, this was a pen that I bought, and I bought this on Amazon in the UK. You can see it says Hongdian 8041 Qing ... metal pen box set new. So this I did pay. I think I paid about £45 for it. I'm just going to unbox that so we can take a look at it in a little bit more detail. It's a very tight cardboard box. Comes in this metal, I want to say tin box really. It's what reminds me of the 1980s when you used to get pencil boxes or pencil cases like this. If I open the lid, you'll see this pen. And this is the Qinghai Tibet 8041 Hongdian pen. Now, I actually want to show you something here. I actually have a very expensive Parker Duofold here, and this is the around the world version. Now, I'm going to let you see these up front together. They look very similar, almost identical. Clearly, the pattern here on the caps are very different. You've got the world here on the Parker, and you've got basically Tibet or China here on the Qinghai Tibet. But other than that, they are fairly alike. The clips are slightly different as well, I guess. The finials are slightly different, but the pens itself look very, very similar. But I'll take the Parker out of the way for the time being. And this is a review of the Qinghai Tibet. So it's an interesting pen. I think I paid about £45 for this on Amazon. And honestly, I keep seeing this on Amazon, and I keep thinking this is almost an identical copy of the Parker. And I really should get it for that, just to see how different it is. And obviously it is quite different, but it is also quite similar. It does have this lovely pattern, wavy sort of semicircle pattern here on the cap. Really not much of a cap finial there to speak of. The clip is very square. It is functional though. And then you have the really you have the map of Tibet, and you have some Chinese symbols there as well. It's definitely more lighter than that of the Parker. If I unscrew the cap, you'll see that it comes with a steel number 6 size nib, and this does say Hongdian on it, and I think that's a medium that I got there. But it is an interesting pen. Now, in terms of the size of my hand, you can see there that it is actually a fairly decent size. And I can post the cap as well. And I don't normally post caps, but on cheaper pens, I don't really mind it, to be honest, if it were to scratch it up a little bit. It does come with a cartridge converter there. You've got an O-ring here, which really is more just to make the body screw in tighter through those threads, so there's a hard stop. It's not you're not really probably going to be able to eyedropper this pen because it is metal threads, but it just helps for it to feel a little bit more quality when you're screwing that body on. It is an interesting, you can see I've got a bit of a sheeny ink there as well. But it is an interesting pen, and I have to say that I am actually liking this. Now, it is a Chinese pen, so with me, I don't have much luck with Chinese nibs, and this one did write a little bit dry and a little bit scratchy, and that is really what I come to expect around 80% of the time from Chinese nibs. When I'm buying a Grail pen, like maybe a Visconti, a Montegrappa, or a Mont Blanc, I'm typically finding that I might need to smooth maybe 1 in 10, so about 10% of nibs, will make them write a little bit wetter. But for the Chinese pens, it's normally around 7 to 8, so about out of 10, so about 70 or 80% of them. And this was no exception. I did have to smooth this nib. unfortunately, but now it writes quite nicely. So I'm very happy with that nib. So I think with that, let's do a size check. We'll do a weight check. We'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the full length of the pen, we are looking at about 140 millimeters in length. The length of the cap is about 60 millimeters in length. And if we do a check to the tip of the nib or tip of the tines, we're looking at about 125 millimeters in length. So not quite an oversized pen. Typically, I normally say around about 130 is about an oversized pen for me. But you can see there, it's actually quite nice in the size of my hand. And I can post that cap. It doesn't feel back weighted in any way. I probably would post this cap a little bit more. I think it makes it just the pen look a little bit better when you're writing with it. But yeah, it's an interesting pen, and I have to say, in comparison to the Parker, £45 versus the Parker, which is probably, I think, around about £3,000. So it's certainly a lot less than the Parker. And obviously the nib isn't going to be quite as good, but now that I've smoothed it, it writes really well. So I think let's do a weight check. So the full weight of the pen inked up, we're looking at just under 39 grams in weight. The weight of the cap, we're looking at just under 14.7 grams in weight. And then the weight of the body, we are looking at, if I can try and stop it rolling, just over 24 grams in weight. So it's not particularly a super light pen. It's not a heavy pen, but it's a pen just about right. So I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Benu Euphoria Earl Grey tea. We have another Benu Euphoria Earl Grey tea. We have an Anoto Charles Dickens, and this is a David Copperfield. We have a Conway Stewart Churchill, and this is in the blue Stardust. We have the Hongdian 8041, and this is the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. We have an Asvine V126. We have a Mahjong P138 piston filler. We have a Magna Carta Mag 600 in the Azure. We have another Magna Carta Mag 600 in the Obsidian. And then we have an Esterbrook SD oversized in the Cosmic Wine. So I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So this is the Hongdian. And it is the 8041 Qinghai. Actually, without a U, actually. Qinghai Tibet Plateau. And it is a medium, and it's a steel nib. And then the ink in here is Ferris Wheel Press. And it is Tears of Sapphire. And I think in terms of line variation, you're seeing quite, I'd say, a Western medium. If I really push it, and a little bit of a railroad there, you can get a little bit more towards a broad, but it's a steel nib. And if I do a little bit more vertical lines there, without pushing it, I'm not getting any hard starts or skips. It's just when I really try to push it a little bit harder, that's when I typically do see it. Now, in terms of ink wetness, let's take a look. Now, this is a high sheening ink, as you saw on the feed. So it typically is going to be a little bit of a drier writing nib because of that ink. But there you can see, though, that it is actually an interesting pen. What do I like? What do I not like about the pen? Well, I kind of like and not like that it's almost an identical copy of the Parker. I like it that it's a lot cheaper, but I also dislike it because I find China are copying many pens and many brands when I think they could be making their own unique pens. And I know that that is a very wide brush that I'm tarring China with, but you see this a lot in China, and like you see it with them copying Apple iPhones and Samsung phones, and I just think that if they came up with their own designs, it would be better. That said, there are a lot of pens that are their own designs, but it's just some of these brands where they are going all out, trying to do an almost duplicate or copy. So I guess it's a like and a dislike on that front. A like because of the value, and then a dislike because it's a copy. All of these Chinese nibs I find do typically write dry and scratchy out of the box. That's definitely a dislike for this. I do like it's a cartridge converter, though. I do like it's a metal pen. I do like the look of it. It really is nice. They have really copied the Parker quite nicely, but then made a few subtle differences to make it maybe not look like the Parker. But for me, I have to say that now this writes a lot better. I probably would not ink it up with this ink. I'd probably put a more lighter blue ink, less sheening ink in this pen moving forward. But I think this is a pen that I probably could write a lot with. I do like the look of it. I do write with the Parker quite a bit as well. And I think this is a pen that I could be writing more with. So there you have it. That's my unboxing review of the Hongdian. And this is the 8041 Qinghai Tibet Plateau in a medium steel nib. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.